Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to this series of me reading this book to you out loud on YouTube, The Instrument Pilot Oral Exam Guide by Jason Blair, 11th edition. Except just kidding, I'm not really reading it because I would get a copyright strike on this channel. And instead, I am reading you the very thorough notes I have made from this book. Last video, we started with Chapter 1, Preflight, Part A, Pilot Qualifications. And now we're going to do Parts B and C. Part B was kind of short, so I'm throwing Part C into this video as well. Again, the book is written in a question-answer format, so I'm going to read the question in my mother's very Brooklyn accent to keep you entertained. Okay? And then I'm going to just read the answer normally in my normal speaking voice. I'm also going to give you where in the FAR AIM or the FAA handbook or the advisory circular this information can be found, so you can go look up whatever we discussed today and read more about it. Let's see how long Poppy can last, because IFR stuff seems to put him right to sleep. Let's see how long we can do. Okay, so Chapter 1, Pre-Flight. Part B, Pre-Flight Action for Flights. And that's IFR or flight not in the vicinity of airport. Okay, question 1. How can you use the PAVE to assess or mitigate risk? FAA Handbook 8083-9. Remember the PAVE from your private pilot days? That's that acronym: Pilot, Aircraft, Environment, External Pressures. So that just provides a handy way to look at each risk category when you make a go, no-go decision. Question 2. How can a personal minimums checklist help you control risk? FAA Handbook 8083-9. Because it gives a handy way to assess your own proficiency. So that's the whole legal, being in compliance versus being proficient thing, legal versus smart. Here's a tip from the book. There is a personal minimums worksheet on the FAA's website on FAA.gov, and I looked it up, and it looks very useful. You guys should look it up. There's a nice PDF download for you there. The book advises that at some point on the Checkride, the DPE will present you with a scenario to test and see if you will adhere to your own personal minimums. Question 3. What information must a pilot be familiar with before a flight? 91-103. This is NW Craft. NOTAMs, weather, known delays, runways of intended use, alternates, fuel requirements, and takeoff and landing distance performance data. All right. So far, so good. What are the fuel requirements in IFR 91-167? You need enough fuel to complete the flight to the first airport of intended landing, and from there to the alternate, and thereafter for 45 minutes at normal cruising speed. Question 5. What pre-flight checks should be made on the GPS for an IFR flight using GPS? FAA Handbook 8083-15. So you see that the GPS is properly installed and certified for the planned IFR operation, that the databases are current, navigation, terrain, obstacle. We're going to talk about what databases absolutely have to be current and what are not required to be current. We'll talk about that soon. You review the GPS and WASP NOTAMs, review GPS RAIM availability for non-WASP receivers, and review operational status of ground-based nav aids and related aircraft equipment. So like the book references a 30-day VOR check. And also determine GPS receiver operation manual or AFM airplane flight manual is on the plane and available for use. All right, question 6. What is the function of RAIM? FAA Handbook 8083-16. So RAIM, Receiver Autonomous Integrity Monitoring, is a self-monitoring function on TSO Technical Standard Order 129, TSO 129 certified GPS receivers. It makes sure that adequate signals are being received at all times. If you just think about what the acronym stands for, it's like obvious. Receiver Autonomous Integrity Monitoring. All right. Question 7. When is the RAIM check required? AIM 5116. When using the TSO C129 aka non-WAS equipped aircraft. And then a RAIM check is not required when using TSO C-145/C-146, a WAS-equipped aircraft, if WAS coverage is confirmed to be available along the whole route of flight. So you don't need to do a RAIM check in that case. But here's the exception: if outside the United States or you're in areas where WAS coverage is not available, even if you're using TSO C-145, C-146, you need to perform a RAIM check. All right, question 8. What are several methods a pilot can use to satisfy the predictive RAIM requirement? RAIM check. AIM 1.1.17 and 5.1.16. You can contact an FSS to get non-precision approach RAIM. Briefers give RAIM information an hour before and after the ETA. You could do it via the Service Availability Prediction Tool, SAPT, on the FAA en route and terminal RAIM prediction tool website at sapt.faa.gov. I looked that up, and that is like a super serious website. It's like they're like gates come down on your browser. It's like, before you enter this site, and they warn you about stuff, and then if you say okay, it's like, you may proceed. Through third-party interface with FAA Volpe Center RAIM prediction data without altering performance values, and using the receiver's installed RAIM prediction capability to provide non-precision approach RAIM. Thrilling. Okay. This is what it is, guys. This is the most challenging part of aviation, kind of. The shooting, the approaches, the IMC, the whole thing, that's something too. But this, staying awake through this, whew. All right. We're almost there, guys. Almost done. All right, now we're going to Chapter 1, Preflight, Part C, Preflight Action for Aircraft. Okay? Okay. Question 2. And I already skipped question 1 in that section because it was just, whatever it was extremely obvious. It's like, should you fly inverted? No. Okay. Like, if I skip stuff, that's why. All right. Question 2. What aircraft instruments equipment are required for an aircraft to be certified to operate in IFO operations? 91-205. From private pilot days, 8 tomato flames and flaps plus grab card. You ready for this acronym? GRAB, GRABCARDD. So, generator, alternator of adequate capacity, radios, nav and comm equipment suitable for the route to be flown, altimeter, a sensitive one, ball, slip skid indicator of, this is parentheses, the ball, the slip skid indicator of a turn coordinator, clock, sweep, second hand or digital presentation, the attitude indicator, rate of turn coordinator, directional gyro, and DME or RNAV for flight levels 240 and above if VOR equipment is required for the route. So that is grab card. That's the acronym there. You got 8 tomato flames, flaps, and grab card. All right, question 3. What are the required tests and inspections to be performed on an aircraft? Include inspections for IFR operations. So it's AAV8. That's the annual, and this comes from, I'll read the reg it comes from after each. So annual 91-409, airworthiness directives and life limited parts 91-403, 91-407, VOR every 30 days for IFR 91-171, and then 100 hour if for hire or for flight instruction 91-409, altimeter reporting equipment and static pressure systems for IFR every 24 calendar months 91-411, transponder tests and inspections every 24 calendar months 91-413, and ELT operation and battery condition inspected every 12 calendar months 91-207. So, question 4. If you find a piece of equipment is inoperative prior to flight, how can you tell if the plane is still airworthy for flight? 91-213C. Advisory Circular 9167, and FAA Handbook 808325. So ask yourself, is there a minimum equipment list or a kinds of equipment list that includes the parts and allows operation with the part inoperative or parts inoperative? If yes, can you fly without it? So, okay, if you can fly without it, it has to be placarded and up, disabled or removed, and returned to service. Okay, so next is the piece of equipment found inoperative. Is it in the type certificate data sheet? Question mark. Is that piece of equipment required in 91, 201, 207, or anywhere in 91? Basically, is it part of that list that we just read? 8 tomato flames, flaps, and grab card. And D, is there an AD requiring it? An airworthiness directive. All right, question 5. May portable electronic devices be operated on board an aircraft? 9121. This is interesting. No, they cannot. 9121. I couldn't believe it. I had to read it, actually. I actually opened the FAR-AIM. No, I've dug in that FAR-AIM quite a bit. So no, you cannot use a portable electronic device on an aircraft. Not for any aircraft, not for a commercial or an IFR flight. Unless you determine, as pilot in command, it will not interfere with the nav or comm system of the aircraft. Also, there are actually listed in the regs several kinds of electronic devices that are allowed on board an aircraft. It's like electric shavers and some other like kind of random stuff, voice recorders, and that's in 9121. There is not a lot of them. It's not a long list. Pacemakers, but the reg says that, again, like if you determine that it's okay and it won't interfere with the nav or comm systems, that it can be used. And I guess this day and age, that does include a lot of stuff. So, okay, all right, Poppy. I know. Almost done. All right, question 6. Are electronic flight bags an approved replacement for paper reference material in the flight deck? AC 9178. Yes, but they must be current, up to date, valid, and it is recommended to have a backup source available. Okay. Question 7. What documents have to be on board an aircraft? 91203, 919. This goes back to Sparrow, supplements, placards, airworthiness certificate, registration, radio station license if outside the U.S., every operating limit like AFM, the POH, supplements, placards, markings. So the POH always has to be on the aircraft. That is not the same thing as like an information manual, which I think people confuse a lot with a POH. It has to be the POH. It has to be for that plane. Weight and balance data, current weight and balance data, and then also compass deviation card and external data plate serial number. The reason I read it so fast is because this is just private pilot stuff. So we know all this stuff already, but it is still extremely relevant. So I'll just reread it because it's very important. Supplements, placards, airworthiness certificate, registration, radio station license outside the U.S., operating limits, parentheses, AFM, POH, and supplements, placards, markings, weight and balance data, the current weight and balance data, also compass deviation card and external data plate and serial number. Okay, question 8. What extra aircraft documentation should be on board an aircraft equipped with an IFR approved GPS? FAA Handbook 808316. An airplane flight manual supplement, AFMS, and cockpit reference guide or quick reference guide. Question 9. How often are GPS databases required to be updated? FAA Handbook 808315. So for the nav, it's every 28 days. It has to be updated for IFR. The obstacle database is every 56 days. That's when it renews. It's not necessarily, this is what I was saying before, not necessarily required for IFR nav operations. And terrain at airport maps as needed. All right, we're almost done. Question 10. Can a GPS with an expired database be used for nav under IFR? AIM 1-117, 5-116, and Advisory Circular 90-100. No, but there may be exceptions, and you would have to look at the AFM or AFM supplements to find those exceptions. Last page. All right. Question 11. Can a pilot perform the required database updates, or must this action be accomplished by authorized maintenance personnel? 91. 14 CFR 43.3. Yes, you can do it. You just cannot disassemble the unit. It's funny what this book proposes. They're like, you can replace the card or you can update the card. Just don't pull the whole plane apart. It's like, thanks, dude. You're looking out. All right, question 12. When using GPS for IFR navigation, do you need an alternate means of navigation appropriate for the route of flight? AIM 1-117, FAA Handbook 8083-16. Yes, for aircraft with GPS Technical Standard Order TSO C129 or C196 non-WAS nav equipment. Active monitoring of alternates is not required if the GPS receiver uses RAIM for integrity monitoring. Take note, an aircraft with WAS can use WAS as a primary means of navigation, and no additional equipment is required. All right, question 13. How can you determine what kinds of operations a GPS receiver is approved for? FAA Handbook 8083-16. In the AFM and AFM supplements. Question 14. Can you use a handheld GPS receiver for IFR operations? AIM 1-117. No, they can only be used as an aid to situational awareness. Question 15. During pre-flight, you notice several static discharge wicks are missing from your plane. Explain their function and the problems that could occur in flight if they are missing. FAA Handbook 8083-16. So the wicks reduce radio interference caused by corona discharge emitted from the aircraft as a result of precipitation static, which you get when encountering airborne particles during flight, such as rain or snow, and develops a negative charge. Problems from precipitation static range from very serious total loss of VHF, very high frequency comms, and erroneous magnetic compass readings to just annoying high-pitched audio squealing. We did it, baby. We reviewed all that. Guys, let me know if this helps. I heard back from someone in the last video, and they seemed jazzed about this. This stuff is really dense, and we need to know it. And I don't know how else to get this in my head through just repeated review. So, if you like these videos, if you appreciate what I'm doing here, let me know in the comments. Let me recommend I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like I am just making up this format as I go along. I'm trying to get this information into your head, also into my head. So let me know if there's any way I can be doing that better. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon with the next part of this thrilling book. All right? Very good. Safe flying, everyone. Good night. Say good night. Good night. Okay, bye, guys.